So in this Tobacco University video, we're going to be looking at how to select cannabis plant material for breeding. What it comes down to is, do you start with seeds or do you start with clones? How you go about making that selection. So again, as I said, there's two main options. You can start with seeds, where you have that, buy a little seed pack, that known variety, you're going through and starting them, or you could start with clones. And both, again, which one would you choose? And both have kind of pros and cons associated with them. Starting first with the seeds. So if you're selecting seeds to kind of start with, these can have greater genetic variability, so it's important to keep that in mind. But this is the more likely case where to get male pollen or a pollinating plant. Feminized seeds would not be recommended in this case, simply because it can limit your genetic variability if you're looking at breeding purposes. When selecting a strain with a limited variability, it's important so that you have a better idea of the genetics you'll be working with. So this is important where if you start with feminized seeds, it's going to be really hard to kind of get any pollen or male plants to then go through and continue with the production of your own seeds there. So that's just an important consideration. Feminized seeds have a lot of benefits, not so much or limiting more when you talk about breeding. So the other option here we can consider is clones. This would be a preferred option for a female plant, but can also be a viable option for males as well. So just because it's a male plant doesn't mean you can't clone it. Those can be cloned in the same process and procedures as you would a female plant. Oftentimes, unique characteristics growers are looking for are first noticed in a female plant. That's why they typically are the first ones kind of that are taken as clones and isolated. Males are typically not grown on such a large scale and can sometimes be more limiting there in a grower operation. Now what's interesting here is we're looking at a female plant that produces pollen. While this can limit your genetic variability, in some cases this may be helpful for growers looking to generate known genetics pollen. So you find a really unique female, kind of ways you can go about reverting that so that female plant can actually produce pollen. However, this is going to basically create a feminized seed, so the true long-term breeding possibilities are limited for there. So again, seeds create a little bit more genetic variability, clones a little bit more of that kind of exact replicate or copy. But if you're only cloning female plants, you may have to look into other methods or ideas to generate a male plant to get pollen to continue that breeding process.